Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. Today, we're going to discuss a topic near and dear to my heart, tsunderes. I love tsunderes. If I didn't, I wouldn't have married one. Tsunderes are an omnipresent trope in anime. Love them or hate them, they are here to stay. Tsundere is a portmanteau of the Japanese terms sunsun and dere. Sunsun refers to someone who acts mean or blunt. They often turn away in disgust. Dere means affection, or to become affectionate. So when put together, it's often someone who turns away in disgust, but often they're disgusted at themselves for feeling affection. Whether the first tsundere was Takahashi Rumiko's Lum or Osamu Tezuka's Princess Knight is often debated, but I think we can all agree that the classic tsundere is Asuka Langley Soryu. Asuka would serve as a template for all tsundere characters for decades. Everyone from Misaka to Rin to Taiga can trace their roots directly to Asuka. They are a culmination of a decade of tsunderes. Anko, Chidori, Naru, and Faye Valentine helped bring us from Asuka in the 90s to Chitoge in the teens. Tsunderes aren't limited to women either. Two of the most famous tsunderes are Edward Elric and Inuyasha. And even though the latter was a dog, most people today associate tsunderes of both genders with cats instead of dogs. I believe the origin of this can be traced to Soma Kyo from Fruits Basket. Even Okami Ryoko, the literal big bad wolf, is covered in cat iconography. If you know of another tsundere cat that predates Kyo, please let me know in the comments. To me, tsunderes have always been interesting. They are often young, usually teenagers. A lot of people talk about the massive body changes that happen to us when we're teenagers, but from my experience, the mind changes just as much, if not more so, than the body. With a youthful mind going through so many changes, chemicals and hormones running rampant, it's no wonder that teenagers have a difficult time processing their emotions, and tsunderes have an even harder time than normal teenagers. A tsundere is most likely neurodivergent in that their brain is wired differently. In the process of working through their feelings, they get frustrated and react violently or aggressively, often towards the person who is the cause of those feelings. One of my favorite moments in the character arc of a tsundere is when they finally realize why they're acting the way they are. That crystallizing realization, which we, the audience, have understood since the first episode, is a huge jump in their character development, and always joyful to see. Some people in the community are tired of tsunderes, and while I don't agree with them, I see where they're coming from. Having the exact same character appear time after time, regardless of the anime you're watching, can get old. Throughout the history of the archetype, we've seen tsunderes slowly evolve from yelling at people, beating them up, zapping them with electricity, using makeshift weapons, to trying to get them expelled. But even then, the character archetype hasn't evolved much in the last 25 years. However, recently, a new type of tsundere has appeared. The teasing kind. Lately, we've been inundated with a new genre, known as the teasing genre. For the most part, these are slice-of-life rom-coms with a slight twist. Some of them have progressing plots, while others don't seem to go anywhere. While not every girl teasing the boy they like is a tsundere, a good percentage are, and the one who totally and completely fills the role of modern-day teasing tsundere is none other than Nagatoro. Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro started as a manga series written and illustrated by Nanashi. The 7th volume just released, and you can pick them all up from your favorite retailer or order digital copies over at Bookwalker. The story centers around our main character, Naoto, or as he's more commonly referred to,
Senpai.
He's a quiet, unassuming boy who just wants to be left alone so he can draw in peace. A lifelong victim of bullying, Naoto has retreated into himself and refuses to recognize anyone. The feelings and words of classmates are meaningless to him. Is this severe depression? A defense mechanism? Withdrawing completely from society is an unhealthy but all too common response to trauma. Enter Nagatoro. She, along with her friends, are hanging out in the library after school. They discover that Naoto is trying to draw a manga and begin to tease him about it. Naoto quietly stands there and takes the abuse, used to being abused by everyone around him. Some of the girls leave, but Nagatoro decides to stay. Maybe she's taken an interest in her senpai. Could it be that she secretly wants to compliment him on how good the storytelling is in his manga? No, she just wants to bully him. She insults his writing, commenting on how it's just a self-insert fantasy. She even goes so far as to prove that the character is unrealistic and that a creepy virgin like him could never say a line like the manga character he's written. She gets in his face and calls him creepy. Naoto cries after getting bullied by his kohai. Quick aside, the words kohai and senpai get used a lot in manga and will come up frequently in this video. Senpai is a Japanese word that basically means senior. It's used to refer to someone who has the same job or position as you, but has been there longer. So they're not necessarily your boss, but they are someone you can go to for advice and assistance. Someone who is a year or two ahead of you in high school, for example, would be your senpai. A kohai is the opposite, someone in your position but younger or newer than you. So poor Naoto finally looks someone in the eyes, recognizing them as another human being, and this person is a kohai who made him cry. But as the tears start to flow, Nagatoro pulls out a tissue, dries his eyes, and apologizes for the teasing. Naoto is left behind, struggling to think straight. This continues for several chapters. Nagatoro finds Naoto, usually hiding in the art club room after school, and teases him mercilessly. Verbal and physical abuse are hurled on her senpai. Eventually, her friends start to join in with the teasing, but Nagatoro stops them. Is she protecting her senpai? Or is she not wanting her toy to be played with by someone else? I believe the answer is that she considers senpai hers. She has declared ownership of him, but is too tsundere to give voice to her feelings. And that very tsundere nature of hers manifests itself in the form of a dom, training her sub. She can't come right out and say it. She's too soon for that. She's always looking with disgust on this gross senpai. So if senpai is so gross, why is she always around him? To answer this, we simply need to see how Nagatoro behaves around other boys. Pushy boys. Boys who won't take no for an answer. Boys who Naoto is initially jealous of because in his mind they fit in with Nagatoro. But that's not the case, is it? Nagatoro may be teasing her senpai constantly, may even be bringing him to tears on occasion, but she's happy when she's near him. She's a beautiful young girl, and she's finally found a boy who's not trying to get in her shirt. The biggest thing senpai offers Nagatoro is safety. The boys who sat with her and her friends at the table refused to leave her alone. They kept going on and on about how they'd take care of her and make sure she had a good time. From her body language and tone of voice, it's obvious she and most of her friends are uncomfortable with these boys. Nagatoro is comfortable enough around senpai to fall asleep in his presence. She may tease him about all the naughty and lewd thoughts he has, but she knows he would never really take advantage of her. And from that feeling of trust and safety, romance begins to bloom in our young maiden's heart. Of course, those feelings are quickly snuffed out by her tsundere nature, but maybe, just maybe, Nagatoro is starting to admit to herself that she has feelings for this skinny, fluffy, loner sea louse of a senpai. Thanks for tuning in. Huge shout out to my editor, Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you want to pick up Nagatoro, you can order digital copies from Bookwalker. Just click the link in the description below. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.